Hey guys, Haxer Tech here for another video, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite email app for productivity. Now, I've reviewed several different email applications. I use several email applications, but the one thing that I really thought stood out with this particular email application is the versatility across platforms and some of the productivity features that just makes it a lot easier to communicate with your email. Which is why I think it's probably the best email app for productivity. So I wanted to cover some of the features of the app today and just kind of give you an overview of how this differs. Now, I have mentioned this app in some of my comparisons, but I really didn't go through and play around with it too much until recently, and there's some pretty cool features I wanted to review. So here we're in the email app. I'm going to also show you guys the desktop interface as well. But when you're in the email application, the main thing that really Spike does differently, and that's the name of this application, is Spike. Their website is spikenow.com. So one of the things you'll notice is anytime that you're communicating in an email thread, it's going to group your messages together almost like text messages. And so that's really one of the things this app does particularly well, is how it structures the messages that you look at. So let me go ahead and just pull up an example so you can see what I mean. All right, so here you can see I have an email thread going on with myself. So just kind of a test to show you what it would look like here. And so what you can actually see is all of the different emails that have gone back and forth with this recipient. And so the nice thing here is that in this view, it appears as though that these are just text messages, but actually these are each individual email messages. So if I just tap on one of these messages here, then you can see it's going to pull up that full email thread. In this case, it's just text, but obviously if you had a detailed email message, it'll actually show you a broken down version of that email thread, and you can see it just like a text message. And here, for example, is a better look at kind of what you would see here. So if you sent a full email, again, it's going to look just like a text message, but when you expand it, it'll actually show it the way it would look in a standard email app or client. So for someone that has a lot of emails and different kind of conversation history with a particular contact or recipient, it definitely makes it a lot easier to see the content, to kind of find something. And one of the problems I often have with a lot of different email clients is if I'm going to try and find an older email, it can be pretty difficult. Even using the Outlook client, which does have an ability to see all the messages to a particular recipient, the way that it kind of organizes them, it can be difficult to go back and find those messages. And here, on the other hand, you can see even if you have a very long history, it's really easy to go back and find previous messages. Now, when you want to respond to a thread here, if I click on the reply button down here, you do have your standard options. You can add in images or GIFs. If I click on this plus button here, you're going to have the option to go in and add different kinds of content as well. You can even add in a recording if you would like, or a translation. You can add in your location. But the other thing that's really nice about Spike, and the thing that's a little bit unique here versus other platforms, is that Spike is not necessarily just an email application. It's an all-in-one communication platform. And so what you'll notice here is that in addition to the standard features you have for communicating through email, in the top right-hand corner, you can also do a video or a phone chat. So if I was to just click on one of these icons, for example, the phone chat, and I click on allow, then you can see I can actually call the recipient directly, and if they have the Spike application downloaded, it's going to ring them, and I'll be able to actually do a video or just a standard phone call with them. So that's really nice, especially if you have a whole organization, for example, using this platform. Then you can use it for your email, you can use it for messaging, you can use it for video and for phone calls. You can use it for really all of those different kind of collaboration and communication features. Plus, you also have some other cool features in here as well if you wanted to take notes, for example. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is from the home screen, if I just swipe up, you can see that I can go ahead and create a note or a task. So if I just create my test note here and click on Create Note, I've got a new note here, and I can put in whatever content that I want, and then I can save this. So you can use this for taking all kinds of notes, and you have your standard features here to modify the text and the font, add in headers and everything of that nature. Additionally, instead of notes, if you prefer to add in a task, you can also likewise come in here and create a task. So with a task here, the difference is that you're going to have the ability to track status. So I can go ahead and go in here and change it from open to in progress, stuck, or done. And then, of course, you can use these tasks in collaboration with others. You can add members to that particular task. So you can use this for project and task tracking as well. Okay, and then so a few other features here you can see in the bottom right hand corner. Here's all of my contacts. Again, you can initiate a call or a video chat from any point in time from this window. Groups, so you can create collaborative groups, and these are some predefined groups that are created, but you can create as many groups as you like, and you can add your whole team there. So it makes it easier for your collaboration. And again, you can treat these groups almost like a chat group in a productivity app like Microsoft Teams, or you can use it like a standard email thread. So it's kind of up to you how you want to leverage these groups. But again, that's why I say this is really useful for productivity, because you can use this in so many different ways. Okay, and then finally, if we go down to this little button here, you can see that again, you have your calendar. So I can click on the plus buttons here to go ahead and open up with one of my other calendar apps. But this is going to just give you an overview of your calendar, so any events that you have on the calendars for really any of the different accounts you have. If you have multiple business accounts, for example, you'll be able to see all of those events across this calendar. Okay, and if I switch over to the desktop interface here, you can see it's a very familiar format. The primary difference here, again, feature-wise, is really just the view here. You have obviously more real estate to be able to interact, but that's one of the things also that I really like about Spike is in comparison to some of the other email apps, all of them really have their own unique advantages and disadvantages. But with the Spike app, you have a desktop interface, you have a web interface. I'm using the web app. There is a Mac and PC client. It's cross-platform with really any platform that you need to use it on. But in the web client here, you can see that I have all the same features that I have in the mobile app, and the interface and experience is consistent across all of those different platforms. So same controls here. I even have the ability to go in here, and if I'm editing content, I can actually go in here and look at the code. So if I wanted to work with HTML code and things of that nature, that's all possible in this app as well, which is really cool. Now in the mobile app, you already saw how you can go in and create notes and tasks, but it's even more powerful on the desktop application. Simply because you have more space, it's going to be easier to interact with that content, move content around here, and it's just like any platform that you would use for task tracking or for note taking. You have all the features down here that you need to manipulate. You can insert tables and all the content that you'd want. You can even have checkboxes in here as well. So if you have a task list that you want to create, custom task list, I can go in here and click on this icon here, and it's going to give me the ability to mark something as completed or not. And you can see it's going to automatically cross that out. So this is great. You could use this in the notes that you take, or you could use it in the different tasks that you create to mark items off your list. A couple other things I'm going to show you here related to the messaging history with your contacts. So again, here's my test thread that I have, and some cool things I can do here is just, again, the way that I would interact with a text message. I can go to any of these messages, and just from this interface, I can reply. I can delete the message if I'd like. I can favorite it. I can also go in here and I can set an action for later if I'd like. I can copy it or translate it. I can even go in here and add tags to make it easier for me to find that message at a later point. I can pin this if I click on the option in the top right hand corner here, so I can pin it. I have more later actions that I can choose to pick here, or I can archive it if I want. So lots of different options here. And then also, of course, you have your search functions, which are really useful as well. And this is going to search through all of your emails across all of your different accounts. Jumping back into the mobile app really quick, I did want to just show here that if you click on the top left-hand corner, Again, here I can see all of my different accounts that I have added in here. And this is pretty standard. Most email applications and clients do have this, but unique to Spike, the fact that you can interact with all of your unified accounts across different platforms is really useful. So in the mobile experience here, again, I've got all of my different services, and I can see the unified view with all my emails in one space, or I can see them separately if I'd like. You can also have tasks specific to one account, or you can see your tasks across all of your different email accounts. But again, as a unique comparison here with this platform on Spike, I can have this experience in desktop and mobile, whereas on most mobile applications, yes, I can have all of my accounts signed in at once, but when I go onto my desktop, many of those don't actually have a desktop interface of any kind, especially a web interface. So if I'm trying to access my email there, what I run into oftentimes is I have a single email application that I use on my mobile device, which I tend to like and use often. But then when I go onto my desktop machine, I'm often using just the standard gmail.com, yahoo.com, or whatever service that I'm using. For work, I obviously use a separate client. So you can end up using a lot of different email clients on your PC, but then using something completely separate from what you're using on your mobile device. And this is something that can kind of get around that by unifying and giving you better collaborative features, better productivity features, and the ability to easily make video and phone calls. The other thing that's really nice here is if I want to see all of my unread messages, I can just click on the filter icon in the top right hand corner. It easily allows me to see all of my messages here, and then I can just mark them all read if I'd like in one quick shot. I can tap and hold on one of these to mark one of these messages as complete, or I can tap and hold on the circle icon or the profile icon next to a particular message, and then I can go in and select multiple messages, or I can click on the check mark in the top right hand corner to select groups, and I can do it that way. Lots of different ways to interact with the messages and content here. Alright guys, and before I go, I did want to just mention the pricing plans and give you a quick idea of what the service offers. And you can see that starting at the solo plan here, it's a minimum of 1 business account, minimum of 2, and then 20 depending on which plan you go with here. So the plans here are really ideally suited for businesses, but if you are a business and you need a different or better platform to manage your email communication and also get more features than just a standard email platform, instead of having to pay for services that do everything from chat to note taking, you can kind of do everything that you want in Spike. So the basic plan here, it starts at $12 per account per month. And then if you're paying just monthly, of course, it's going to go up a little bit, but it starts at $12 and you can see what you get. The various kind of changes here are going to mostly be related to how much storage you get, how many groups you can create, how many audio and video call participants that you can have. And you can see it ranges from 10 to 250 video calls, 20 to unlimited groups, 40 to unlimited users per group, and then 50 to unlimited storage. So definitely check it out, guys. The link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Spike. If you are someone that has a business or are part of a business that would be able to benefit from the features that Spike offers, you can certainly check that out using the link in the description. It's completely free for mobile as well as the web application and the desktop applications. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And other than that, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.